Hello everyone, welcome to CS Guitars' second channel. This is all going to be unscripted, pretty shit, and have nothing to do with guitars. And we're going to look at the Curiosity box today. This is a subscription box by the guys at VSauce, which is a very excellent channel. If you've not seen any of the VSauce stuff, please go and do. It's all sciencey, educational stuff in here, so it's not like your collectibles and your geek culture stuff. It's experiments and education and brain food, basically. So we've got this lovely orange box, the Curiosity box, and these are themed. I believe the theme on this one is UV. I don't really know what's in here. With UV, I'd imagine it's going to be doing with fluorescence through blacklight and stuff, but I don't know that for certain. And there's going to be a t-shirt, I think, because I had to select a t-shirt size, but other than that, I know nothing about what is inside this box. So we're going to do an unboxing, and we'll discover it together. First off, we have a cool little interior to the box with Inquisitive the Octopus, or Ink for short, clever name. So that's printed, and we've got the paper here covering up what's inside the box. So, go down. Inside, when we flip that apart, let's see, first thing out is the glossy magazine with the VSauce guys in the front, and this will tell us all about the stuff that's inside the box. So I won't spoil it for myself, but this will give us more information, some science, and some understanding about the items within. First thing out is Curiosity box gift wrap. So I think this was coming out, this got shipped out just before Christmas time, so I guess the guys in America got this maybe just before Christmas. So gift wrap is probably a good thing to have at that time of year. Obviously I'm getting this just now at the start of January, so, but that'll be useful for other things to come. I won't have to buy gift wrap, so it's 3 different colours of gift wrap with the Inquisitive Ink octopus on there. So gift wrap, fair enough. Just want to show you how neatly presented that all is inside the box there. Everything's got its own branded VSauce boxes, Curiosity box boxes, and I can see there's a lot of UV stuff there. But let's leave the UV stuff to the end, because we'll go over that all in the one go, and we'll look at the things that aren't UV. So this one is a magnetic iron filing interval keeper, so sort of a sundial or an hourglass, but using magnetic, it must be iron filings, and it must have a magnet in the base so that when the iron filings pour down, they form a magnetic structure due to the sort of try to line up alongside the magnetic field lines. So we've got, that'll be the little wooden base there with the big magnet in the centre, and it's branded laser engraved with the Curiosity box logo and whatnot on it. So that's the wooden plinth. I'll set that here for this now. And if this will come out, polystyrene. Inside that we have, there we are, our hourglass with the sort of blue coloured iron filings inside. And at the minute, that's just going to pour like normal sand. It's not going to look any different. It's just going to be a standard timer. But I guarantee that when we put it on here, if we have the base there and turn it on the base, it will start to form magnetic shape. There we go. So all the iron filings are spiking up against the field lines and creating a structure, and it'll be a different structure each time because the filings will fall in different positions, and we'll get different levels of spikage. But yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a nice variant on your standard sundial to have it with the iron filings, and you're getting the magnetic pattern. So that's a little bit of ferromagnetism, a little bit of learning in there. That's a nice little desk set, actually, something to sit at your desk at work, and just a little interest piece. That's very, very nice. So the next non-UV item in here is the gyroscope. This is, I've always wanted the gyroscope. This is going to be really cool. So gyroscope, if my memory serves, the name gyroscope comes from scope, meaning to measure, and gyro, as in gyrate, the rotation of the Earth. So it's a device for being able to measure the rotation of the Earth. And how does that work? Well, a gyroscope, as you can see here, has a metal disc in the centre, a heavy metal disc that spins, and then all these axes can move around about it. And what it does is it manages to maintain its balance. The spinning disc will retain its balance. At the minute, it will just fall over, but there should be string included with it. And if you give me a second to wrap this up and fire this off, we will see some amazing science. Let's make the string round around the gyroscope. When I give this a pull, it will start the disc spinning really fast, and what should happen is it always tries to remain upright. It should self-balance. So I've got a little plinth down here it's going to sit on, and we'll see what happens. there we are. And it'll start to progress round in a circle like that. That's pretty good. So this time we're going to spin the gyroscope and then suspend it from its own string, and you'll see something quite interesting happen if I can get it to work right. So if I do that, make a loop, and check that out. It seems to just defy gravity and just spin round about the string. How amazing is that? How is that even possible? So what's happening there when we suspend it from the string like this is there's a torque force trying to pull the bottom of the disc back down towards the rope. So it wants to tilt in like that, essentially, which is what you'd expect. But because the disc is spinning, there's also a force on the bottom of the disc pushing straight out the way if the disc is spinning back towards me. So you've got two forces, one going that way and one going that way, and those two sum together, they add together to give you a force going that way. So if they're 90 degrees to each other, then you get the resultant force being 45 degrees sort of in the middle of those two. So with a gyroscope on the string, with a force going that way and a force coming towards the string, then it causes the gyroscope to turn a little bit. And then there's a new position at the bottom of the gyroscope which wants to turn a bit there, and it just progresses itself round the string, and that's how it seems to defy gravity. And it would keep doing that forever if it were not for the fact, very small fact of, you know, air resistance and friction and whatnot, which slows down the disc. And when the disc slows down, that's when the force out the way is not as much as the force in towards the string, and that's where it starts to droop. So, gyroscope. Back to the box. What's next in here? There is Letter Quest Remastered, which I think is a Steam download code. Yeah, it's a Steam download code for some, I believe it's some word game? An RPG using linguistic skill typing something or other. So if you're into Steam games, yeah, maybe want to go with that one. I don't have Steam, but sure, it's a good game. There's a book in here, Packing for Mars, The Curious Science of Life in the Void by Mary Roach, the author of Stiff, apparently. So it's a science book, New York Times bestseller, so that'd be an interesting read. Packing for Mars, how we would live in space, well, on Mars anyway, terraforming and all that sort of stuff. I have no doubt it's going to be in there, and just how we would survive on a planet that's not our own. That's going to be an interesting read. On to the VSauce exclusive t-shirt, which I think there's a t-shirt in every one of these boxes, so let's see what we've got in here. It's blue, which isn't exactly my colour, but I'm sure it will still get worn. Oh sweet, it's some sort of Iron Samurai deal going on there, that's pretty sweet. And I think some of that ink, that yellow sort of print on there, is actually ultraviolet. I think that's will fluoresce under the blacklight. I think that's part of the UV theme on this one. So we've got a t-shirt which is sort of Iron Samurai, and it might just glow under UV. Right, so moving on to the main theme stuff now, it's all the ultraviolet. So the idea of this is to do experiments using ultraviolet light, and the first thing out, which you obviously need to do any experiments with ultraviolet, is an ultraviolet lamp. So this is a 372 nanometer electromagnetic wavelength generator, or in other words, a black light. So box printed with UV ink. So we will actually be able to see this box fluoresce when we put the black light onto it. Seen these ones before, just a standard sort of banknote checker. But printed with the Curiosity box logo on it. It's got the black light there, the ultraviolet light, and it's got a standard torch. It will require batteries. Doesn't come with the batteries. Can't ship with batteries. But I'll see if I've got some AA batteries lying about, and we can test that out. So I had to steal some batteries out of my remote control for this one, but standard torch on the front there, and then you maybe just see the UV lamp lighting up there, the black light. So we'll get to checking out some stuff that will glow with the UV. So next out we have Germ Simulator now with glowing powers. What I think this is a bottle, yes, it's a bottle of solution that will glow under UV light, and sort of, you know, if you were to put it on things, it would look like it was germs or body fluids or that sort of thing. So I guess with the simulated germs idea, it's you know, put it on your hands and then touch things and then go over things with the UV light and just see how easy it is to spread germs off your hands. I think that's sort of the intention. So you can do experiments like that with it. I suppose that's the whole idea of the experiment thing. So squeeze a dime-sized amount of the simulated germs on palms of your hands and rub together. Include backs of hands. Scrape fingernails and palms to infect germs under nails. Place hands under UV light and to view the germs. Follow with normal hand washing. Test again after UV light. So it shows you exactly if your hands were covered in germs and you wash your hands, how much germs are still on your hands after you've washed them. I think that's the experiment that's going to happen. Doesn't smell of anything. So we'll get to that in a second. Have a go at that one. And the last piece in here is an ultraviolet poster printed with the UV ink. Uncover 4 creatures that will glow in real life under UV light. So it's a poster with creatures that will glow. What do we have? Oh, it's just a green piece of paper. These animals glow under UV light. Can you see them? Can you see the animals? Because I can't. That's good. That's good. I think I'll turn off these studio lights and you can get a proper look at this. So I switched off one of the lamps and still got enough light in here so you see what's coming on. So I've got my UV light here and I'm just going to pass it across the green and you'll start to see an image forming up there. And this is a moon jellyfish. As you can see there, that's pretty cool. Hold on, I'll move the box out of the way, that's maybe better. So let's go over them again. We've got the daddy long legs, or the harvest man, as I would call it. We move on to the millipede. The millipede there. And the moon jellyfish. And that's quite a big one actually. That one's really cool and really quite detailed. So that's nice. And then finally, the scorpion. And that's just really sweet. And then when I take the light away, it's just a green piece of paper again. And I made some claims about the t-shirt being UV. These yellow sections, I reckon, are the UV sections. And let's just have a look. There we go. Those are glowing under the UV light. I wonder if I can turn the other lamp off and it will just look even better. So this is it, totally in the darkness with just the UV. And you can see those centre sections, those circles glowing there. And quite interestingly, if I take the UV light away, it continues to glow for a little bit. So this isn't just fluorescent, this is actually phosphorescent. Fluorescent is when it glows when the radiation source is there, but stops when it's taken away. But phosphorescent is what happens when it charges up and continues to give off light even after the radiation source has moved. So I brought the poster back into the pitch black and I've got my UV torch up high. So when I shine it down, we'll see that the UV stuff lights up. And this is proper fluorescence. When the light goes away, it stops glowing. So we get to see all the creatures this way. Where's the scorpion? There he is! Mr. Scorpion. Hello! 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 So I think I'll take a little look at this germ lotion and then have a look at it under the black light and see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. So it's all over my hands now, both my hands. And I can feel it because it's lotion. So I'm going to position the black light down here like this so you can see what's going on. My teeth will glow, my little pick on my neck is glowing, some of this white stuff up there is glowing as well. But look at my hands, look how bright they are. Compared to, if I roll up my sleeves, you can see the difference, you can see where the cream is, stops and starts. But yeah, glowy hands, so everything I touch will now be covered in stuff that we can see under UV light. Whoops. Okay, let's just touch my face. I'll just touch my face, and now we can see I've smeared it off and it's gone on to my face. Now I've got UV glowy face. How great is that? So again, if I touch anything, we're now going to find that handprints are over everything. What a mess. What an absolute mess I've made of everything. Oh dear. But yeah, it sort of shows you the idea of how easily germs are transferred and gives you an idea of what you've touched and how difficult it is to wash this off your hands. I think I'll do is I'll go and wash my hands and see how much of it's still left there. So I gave my hands a quick wash, didn't do it too thoroughly, and you can see some of the places that I've messed around about my wrist and whatnot. So this is a really good method of letting people know like how well they need to wash their hands to get the germs off their hands, because there's still lots of gluey bits around about my wrist, and probably around my fingers as well. So yeah, that's kind of a cool experiment, especially if you get kids and you want to show them, you know, how germs are transferred to their face and to other things, as well as, you know, how important it is to wash your hands properly. So that was the Curiosity box this time round, and there's a lot of good stuff in there actually. The blacklight's going to be really useful for even just checking banknotes and whatnot, looking for the legitimacy of notes and that sort of thing, as well as, you know, putting the sort of lotion and things and seeing who's touched stuff. That's kind of a cool idea. That's good to have, especially if you get kids and you're trying to educate. That's great. Useful little device that is. The poster is kind of fun as long as it lasts. Again, I think it's more of a thing that kids would enjoy, but that's good fun. Shows the principle. The gyroscope I love. I think that's great. And there's a lot of important science in there if you want to learn about momentum and inertia. I think the Coriolis effect is pretty closely linked to that as well. Plus, the whole concept of the gyroscope and angular momentum and whatnot stretches far beyond just this. It goes into gravity and all those sort of things. So the same rules apply to other places in science. So that's a very important lesson to have if you read up more about that. What else? The t-shirt was pretty sweet. I will be wearing that. That looks pretty cool, and I like the fact that I can go to some place with a UV light and it all glows up. That's very interesting indeed. Oh, and of course the magnetic sundial, or iron filing dial. That's great. The book's quite substantial as well, so there's a lot of reading in there, and there's probably a lot of interesting ideas and knowledge, and probably some good science in there as well. So it's all actually very good stuff. It's stuff that's, you know, interesting experiments, interesting fun to use, thought-provoking, and yeah, I think it's once a quarter, so it's 4 a year, and they're more expensive per box than some of the other boxes, but you're only getting 4 of them a year. So I think it's worthwhile. I think this is a really good thing, and I'm looking forward to see what comes in the next one. But anyway, that was the unboxing of the Curiosity box, and I'm going to go and read up some more in the little leaflet about all these things and see what things I've missed out on. But yeah. Oh, what's this? The wallpaper you pop. Apparently, bubble wrap was originally designed as a futuristic wallpaper, which nobody caught on to, obviously, and then it started being used as a packaging material. So, yeah, there's some numbers, some interesting numbers as well. So there's a lot of reading in that as well, with facts and information about all this stuff. So, that's a Curiosity box.